हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ओम 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 नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan summarizes whatever he taught in so many chapters in this last chapter. And further he summarizes by telling that ultimately one has to renounce all dharma, that is falsely claimed dharma of the body, the mind, the senses, and one has to surrender to that Ishvara. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja ahantva sarva papebhya mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Thereafter Bhagavan now tells the vidhi of this sampradaya. This knowledge is the great sampradaya. It begins from Ishvara alone, and through this Guru Shishya sampradaya it reaches ultimately us. So this is a very beautiful sampradaya which Bhagavan, he keeps it, maintains it, and whenever there is a disruption, Bhagavan sets it right. So here he gives certain conditions that whom should this knowledge be given, with whom should we share this knowledge. See, this knowledge which is imparted to us, it belongs to Ishvara alone, and out of his grace and compassion he has given this to us. So if we can't, we have to follow all the conditions which Ishvara gives us. So Bhagavan says, one who doesn't have tapas, one who is not my bhakta, one who doesn't want to listen to this knowledge, one who finds faults with me and my teaching, to such people this knowledge should not be given. But those who are my bhakta, one should share this knowledge with them. And one who shares this knowledge with my devotees, they are very, very dear to me. Bhagavan says they are doing the best work, most dearest work for me, and they are not only dear to me now, all those people who are doing this great work, but even in future, no one will be more dear to me than those who will share this knowledge with everyone. Bhagavan says even those who listen to this, those who study this Bhagavad Gita, that study of this Bhagavad Gita, I consider it as my worship only. I consider that study as Jnana Yajna. And through this Jnana Yajna, I will consider that they are worshipping me. So it's a most beautiful thing which Bhagavan has revealed here. So he now says further, in verse number 71, Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyadapi yo naraha sopi muktas shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. Bhagavan says कि श्रद्धावान अन असूयश्च शृणुयादपि यो नरः, that those human beings, see, this knowledge is given to naraha, means a man means a human being, to all the entire humanity. Bhagavan says कि those who listen to this, listen to Bhagavad Gita, listen to the pravachan of Bhagavad Gita, listen to the chanting of Bhagavad Gita, And how do they listen? Bhagavan says Shraddhavan, with extreme Shraddha, with faith. So what is the meaning of faith? Faith means whatever we are listening is true, is Satya. Whatever is said in the Shastra and that which is conveyed to us by our teacher is absolutely true. See, we may not understand a lot of things immediately, but even if we don't understand, we should not neglect those teaching. We should hold on to them, keep contemplating, and slowly and steadily we will be able to understand what is said. But if we, in the beginning itself, if we reject, saying that this is all false, that this is not true, then we will never be able to understand it. Therefore, the Shraddha is very important. Ki Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishvasaha. Vishwas, that trust in the words of the teacher, in the words of the scriptures. Because teacher is only conveying what is said in the scriptures. Teacher is not giving his own or his or her own philosophy. That is not what is meant by teacher. Teacher is one who just conveys the teaching which is there in the Shastra. The ultimate teacher, Parama Guru, is Ishvara alone. Ishvara is the ultimate Guru, the Param Guru. And all those who teach, they are just conveying that Ishvara's teaching only. Just like we have a speaker who is speaking on the mic, and so many loudspeakers are there. From all those loudspeakers you can hear the voice, but it is the voice of one person only being conveyed in all these various speakers. Similarly, through the teacher, we are hearing Bhagwan's voice only. So we should have that reverence and that respect towards our teacher and towards the words which are uttered. So that is what is called Shraddha. And as Bhagwan has mentioned in the 4th chapter, कि only those who have Shraddha, they will be able to gain this knowledge. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. So those who have Shraddha, they will be able to gain this knowledge. So Bhagwan says Shraddhavan, that is one thing, and anasuyascha, and without asuya, means without having that tendency of finding fault with the teacher, with the Shastra. If we keep finding faults, if we keep our attention only to find defects, see, there are no defects. Defects are there in our eyes. Defects are there in our thinking. Defects are there in our mind. Defects are there as a product of our ignorance. So through that vision, when we look, we will see some faults. We will think they are the faults of the Shastras, they are the faults of the teacher. And if we have that notion, then also we will not be able to learn anything. So here Bhagwan says that with this quality of Shraddha and with the quality of not finding fault in the teaching and the teacher, when one listens, Shrunuyadapi, when one just listens to this Shastra, uh, with faith. See, when we listen with full faith, full attention, full acceptance, then that listening itself transforms the person. Then the words which will enter our system will do their work, because they are very subtle. See, nowadays we go and take this vaccine. These vaccines are so subtle actually. The thing which go to make this vaccine, they are so subtle that we will never be able to see it with our naked eyes. What we see is just some liquid. But when it enters our system, it starts doing its work. In the same way, the words which are uttered by our teacher, the words of the scriptures are very subtle. So we should allow them to enter our system by listening to them with full faith and acceptance. Because when we don't have faith and don't have that acceptance and have the tendency of finding faults, then the words will not enter. And when the words will not enter our system, it will not show any effect. So there are those who listen to so many different acharyas and different scriptures, but without faith, then there will not be any change in their behavior, in their personality. Like I gave example of Dhritarashtra. He listened to the whole Bhagavad Gita, but there was not much transformation in him. He just listened without really having that faith and total acceptance. So that should not be the case. So with Shraddhavan asuyascha, without this asuya, shrunuyadapiyo naraha. So one who listens to this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, sopi muktaha, that person will also become free. That person will also gain moksha ultimately. That words will take care. The words will enter his system and destroy all the negativities within and give him moksha. Sopi mukta shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. And such a person, even if he even if he doesn't gain that supreme knowledge, that this listening itself will give so much of punya to that person that he will attain the supreme, he will attain a higher world. Here Shankaracharya ji, he writes कि श्रद्धावान श्रद्धाधानः with श्रद्धा अन असूय च असूया वर्जितः, without that asuya, san imam grantham, this text, one who shrunuyadapi, one who listens. So api shabdat kimuta artha jnanavan. See, here Bhagavan says, Shankaracharya ji, that even if we just listen without even understanding what is being said, without completely understanding the Shastra, but when we listen to it with full faith, with full Shraddha, that will also have a positive effect. But what to talk about those who listen and understand? Artha jnanavan. those who listen and understand, they will gain what you call greater benefit. So sa api papad muktaha. So all those who listen will become free of all papa, all sins, which are the products of ignorance. So all these sins will get eliminated. And Shubhan Prashastan Lokan Praptuyan. And they will, after that, they will attain a higher world. They will attain a higher world. Punya Karmanam, which is attained by those who, gain Punya. Agnihotradi karma vatam. Those who do Agnihotra karma regularly, they acquire a lot of Punya and they go to higher world. So those who listen to this Bhagavad Gita with faith, they will also go to that same world. See, when we listen and when we understand what is being said, and when we practice the karma sannyas and jnana nishtha, we will gain moksha here itself. But if we just listen without understanding, it will give us punya and we will go to a higher world. And if we listen and we understand what is being said, it will further take us ahead on our spiritual journey. See, our Shastras, they give, we have seen that regularly we should do our karma, nitya karma, yajna dana tapak karma. And in the yajna karma, the one of the most important karma is that Agnihotra karma. So those who are entitled to do this Agnihotra karma, they have to regularly do it. And when such a person selflessly does this karma, without having any expectation, just as his expression of his love for Bhagwan, such people, they acquire a lot of punya and they go to a higher world and they progress on their spiritual path. But now we see in this Kali Yuga, all people are, even though they might be born in a traditional family, but still very few, they pursue this, do this regular Agnihotra karma, etc. People are so-called busy with the modern world. So Bhagavan says, even if we fail to do this regular karma, but if we listen to this Bhagavad Gita regularly, sincerely, with faith, and without finding faults, Bhagavan says that will be considered as they will get the punya of doing Agnihotra karma regularly. And when they leave this body, they will reach a higher world and exhaust their whatever vasanas they have, and they will be born again in a traditional family, and they will continue with their spiritual path. This we had seen in the 8th chapter also. In the 6th chapter. So sopi mukta shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. See, Bhagavad Gita is, as we have seen, is the sar of the Vedas. Let me tell you briefly what are the great Shastras which we have. The mool, the very source of all the great wisdom and all the dharma are the Vedas. So we have these 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda. And as I have said, Vedas are Anadi, Apaurusheya and Ananta. Anadi means beginningless, means they are always there. Vedas are always there. At times they disappear and then again they appear, but they are always there. They are eternal. Then they are not created by a human being. They are not product of human intelligence. They are the expressions of that Brahma only. That Supreme Brahma alone spontaneously expresses these Vedas. Like the out breath of that Supreme. And these Vedas are Ananta, means very vast, infinite. But as we move in this Kali Yuga, slowly the Vedas start disappearing. They start becoming lupta. See, about 2200 years ago or 2250 years ago or something, Patanjali Rishi was born, and Patanjali Rishi has written not only this Yoga Sutras, but he has written commentaries on Panini's grammar also. Patanjali Rishi, in his commentary, he writes 2250 years ago about the Vedas. And that time he says that Vedas are slowly getting disappearing. He writes that at that time there were 1131 shakhas, branches of the Vedas. Vedas have many branches. And during Patanjali Rishi's time, there were 1131 branches. And Patanjali Rishi mentioned that a lot of the branches have got extinct and only this many are remaining, and he was expressing his sadness over it. But it continued to get extinct, and at present, in this present time, there are only about 8 branches remaining of the Vedas intact. So many of them have just disappeared. So the Vedas which are available now, if somebody chants them continuously without a break, it will take about 15 days to chant the available Vedas. But during Patanjali Rishi's time, it would have taken about 50 or more days to chant those Vedas. They are vast literature, but slowly they are getting extinct. Because people who know them and who regularly chant them and keep them alive are slowly getting depleted. And this each branch of these Vedas used to have one Upanishad. So during Patanjali Rishi's time, there used to be 1131 Upanishads. Now a lot of these branches have disappeared, but some Upanishads are still, of those branches are still there. So about 108 Upanishads are authentically available at present. But this Upanishadic language is so mysterious that if you just read them, you will not understand many of the things which are mentioned there. So out of these 108 Upanishads, the names of 108 Upanishads are mentioned in Muktiko Upanishad. So out of these 108 Upanishads, the, the first 10 Upanishads which are mentioned, the first 10 Upanishads are commented upon by Bhagwan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. So Isha Kena Katha Prashna Munda Mandukya Tittirihi Aitariyancha Chandogyam Brihadaranyakam Tatha. So like that, these 10 Upanishads are there, on which Shankaracharya ji, Adi Shankaracharya ji has written Bhashya. Therefore, those Upanishads, these 10 Upanishads can be understood with the help of this Bhashya. Also in the Bhashya, Shankaracharya ji has quoted from other 4 Upanishads. So these 14 Upanishads are considered very, very important and authentic because Adi Shankaracharya ji has mentioned, written Bhashya and has quoted few of them, others. Shankaracharya ji has written so much on the Bhashya, on the Upanishads, as well as on Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. If we just have to chant Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji's Bhashya continuously, it will take about 108 hours. 108 hours. So these few Upanishads are important and available and can be understood with the help of Shankaracharya's Bhashya. At present. In future what will happen, we don't know. At the rate at which things are becoming bad and our traditional knowledge is getting depleted and disappearing, we don't know what will happen in future. These are the Vedic Shastra which is available. So Vedas are called Shruti also. Then based on these Vedas, there are many Dharma Granthas. They are called Smriti. So taking the help of the Vedic knowledge, great Rishis and Mahatmas in different time, they have given this literature called Dharma Grantha, in which the rules, do's and don'ts are given. They are the rules. They are the constitution. Just like we have the constitution, we have, based on that, we have our laws. We have our penal codes and all. Similarly, these Dharma Granthas are the constitution, they can give the laws. But these laws are based on the teachings of the Vedas. There are about some 20 or so Dharma Granthas, out of which Manusmriti is very important and popular. There are Yajnavalkya Smriti, Gautam Smriti. So in this Manusmriti, the laws of for humanity is given, how human beings should live in this world. And during Britishers' time also, when they were ruling India, they took help of this Manusmriti to formulate certain laws to control the people, to govern the people. So it's most important, these texts are there, these Dharma Granthas. They are also called Smritis. Because in modern times when we see the laws, their purpose is to live and let live. In the modern times, the focus is on artha and kama, not on dharma, not on moksha. But the Manusmriti and other this law granthas which are there, their purpose is to lead humanity towards moksha. Modern laws are not meant to lead humanity towards moksha. They are meant that you live and you let others also live. So as long as you are alive, you follow these rules. Once you are dead, we don't care where you go. Whether you go to hell or heaven, doesn't matter. But our Dharma Granthas, their purpose is to lead the entire humanity towards goodness and towards moksha. So there are these Dharma Granthas are there, many. Then there are what we call Puranas. We have the 18 Puranas, Mukhya Puran, 18. Vishnu Puran, Bhagavad Puran, Brahma Puran, Shiva Puran, Devi Bhagavad, so many are there. 18 are there. 18 main and 18 Upapuranas are also there. They are also vast. But what is mentioned in the Puranas? Puranas are also based on the teachings of the Vedas, in tune with the teaching of the Vedas. And Puranas mention the cosmic history, the history of the whole cosmos. So Puranas talk about the creation of this whole cosmos. Puranas also talk about the creation which was there before the Pralay. So various yugas, various other universes, the time scale, the different avatars of Bhagwan, the different devotees, and so many. It's a vast history of the cosmos. Then we have the Itihas, Mahabharata and Ramayana, the recent history of this world. Mahabharata, when Bhagwan Shri Krishna was born, the history during that period. Ramayana, when Bhagwan took avatar as Sri Ram, the history during that period. But these history books also are in tune with the Vedas. So they are not meant just to convey how many wars were fought or something like that, but the purpose is to teach, to implement right teaching in all people. See, in modern times we are reading histories, and they are also selective histories of the invaders who came to India and how they plundered and looted and destroyed our culture, and our children go and learn this history. And after reading and studying this history, they come out depressed, dejected, and having a low opinion about their own culture and tradition. Lot of the great rulers and people who have really transformed our country in a positive way, their history is not mentioned in our history books. Shivaji Maharaj, greatest of rulers during recent time, who ruled the country following the path of Dharma. About him, maybe one paragraph may be there somewhere on the side. Great other rulers, even women rulers like Ahilya Bai Holkar, very, very dynamic and positive ruler who brought about transformation not only in the kingdom which she ruled, but throughout the country. She built so many temples, so many Tirtha Kshetras she developed. But we don't hear, our children don't hear about the story and history of such great rulers. And then these invaders who came, they created a negative feeling in our mind about our culture, about our tradition, tried to instill the tendency of finding faults in our own tradition. But even though in modern times, though the situation is very bad, but still it is not totally destroyed. So we have to wake up, understand our culture, understand our tradition, understand the greatness of this, and share it with others. Open our mouth and speak about it, not keep it only in your heart. Tell it to your children, to your grandchildren, to your neighbors, friends, to the world. So that's what Bhagwan is telling here, that if you just listen to it also, it's such a great thing. But if you listen and understand it, even much greater. And if you listen, understand and practice it, still greater. And if you listen, understand, practice and share it with others, you are very, very dear to me. You will be the most dearest person to me. So Shruti, Smriti, Puran, Itihas, the teaching which is there in our Vedas, in our Dharma Granthas, in our Itihas and Puranas, the nichod, the sar of all of them is there in Bhagavad Gita. In the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, all this is there. Traces of all our great scriptures are there. So even if we don't have the capacity and the ability to study all the Shastras, if we can just study Bhagavad Gita properly and practice and share with others, it will be great. Now, after telling about this Falashruti of listening and this Bhagavad Gita and sharing with others, now Bhagwan is asking some few questions to Arjuna, which is very important. Because as a teacher, when you are teaching, you have to ask the student whether they have heard what you have taught properly, whether they have understood what is taught. Because if they have not understood, then your job is not done properly. Then you can convey the teaching maybe in some different way. So Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary कि शिष्यस्य शास्त्र अर्थ ग्रहण अग्रहण विवेक बुभुत्सया पृच्छति. To find out whether the Shishya has understood or not understood what he was taught, Bhagwan asked this question. Because tad agrahane nyate punah grahayishyami upaya antarena api iti prashtuhu abhiprayah. The purpose of asking this question is that if the disciple has not understood what is taught properly, then it could be conveyed in some another way. The purpose is that the listeners, the Shishya should understand. It should reach their antakarana. They should understand what is being taught. Therefore, this question Bhagavan asks. See, all of you also who are listening, you have to understand properly. And you should be able to convey it to others. Then only the cycle gets completed. You should be able to convey the same teaching in same way to others. You can use your own language. You can use your own examples. But you cannot use your own philosophy. The same truth which is there in the Shastra, which you heard from your teacher, which you have understood and you are practicing, you should share it with others. Should not change it. Should not change the teaching at all. Even a tiny little bit should not be changed. So Bhagwan yatnan yatnantaram आस्थाय शिष्यः कृतार्थः कर्तव्य इति आचार्य धर्मः प्रदर्शितो भवति. So here Bhagwan is showing the dharma of acharya, the teacher. That if the teacher is, if he finds that what he has conveyed is not reached the student in properly, then he can convey it in some other way, giving some other example, giving some other way of conveying. So these questions are very important, and I am asking the same questions to all of you who are listening. See, there are those who are listening, and I know who are listening because your names and all I read, and your comments and your Hari Oms also I acknowledge. But there are many who are listening to me, but they remain invisible. I don't know who all are listening without acknowledging that they are listening. So like that, many of you are listening. So I would like all of you to listen to this question, and I would like all of you to answer these questions, because they are not only questions of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, but I am also asking same questions to you. But let us now see what Bhagwan Krishna is asking Arjuna. So very beautiful shloka. He says, Kaschid etat shrutam partha tvayekagreణ chetasa kachid ajnana sammohah pranashtaste dhananjaya. Bhagwan says, he asks, see, till now, in the beginning, Dhritarashtra asked that question. Thereafter, we have this samvad, a dialogue of Arjuna and Krishna, and Arjuna asked many questions as he was listening. But here, Bhagwan Krishna is asking question to his disciple, to his very dear Shishya. So he says, Hey Partha, oh my dear Arjun, I have been speaking now continuously. Did you listen to me? Kaschid etat shrutam partha. Did you listen to what I am saying? See, it sounds very funny. If Bhagwan was speaking, Arjuna must be listening. But many times what happens, the person is speaking and it appears as though we are listening, but our mind is somewhere else. We are busy thinking about something else, or we are busy doing something else, and we miss out what is being said. And if such a thing happens, then some of the important teaching might not enter our system. So Bhagwan is asking Arjuna, did you listen to me properly? Kaschid etat shrutam partha. How? Tvaya ekagrena chetasa, with a single pointed attention of your mind, of your antakarana. Ekagrena. See, one is listening and another is listening with full attention, with full acceptance, with full alertness. See, though we are listening with our ears can only hear sound. Our ears don't have the capacity to understand. Ears only hear sound. Ears have the capacity to hear the different frequency of sound. But the sound which enters our ears, it reaches our antakarana. Our mana, buddhi, chitta and ahankar gets that information which comes from our ears and other sense organs. So it reaches our buddhi, it reaches our mana. So the buddhi, when it reaches our buddhi, the buddhi has to understand it. The buddhi's job is to understand. The job of the mind is to feel and to evaluate it. Evaluate the pros and cons. Sankalpa, vikalpa. To contemplate on it, to think about it, to ruminate on it. That is what the mind does. So mind can feel the feelings of the speaker also. Mind can feel the feelings conveyed in the message. And mind can think about it. Though we hear one sentence, the mind can keep thinking about it in different ways, using different sentences, different ideas, and keep on ruminating over it, chewing over it. Just like you see a cow eating grass, so it will keep on eating lot of grass, then it will just sit at one place and keep on chewing it again. It brings it out in the mouth and again chews it. So much. Because therefore this cow has got the capacity to digest the grass completely. See, other animals, they just chew and eat it, so the whole grass comes out as it is without getting completely digested. But cow, they can really chew and digest it completely. Therefore, the sour of the grass enters the system and it comes out in the form of the milk. So the milk is most cow's milk, very medicinal also. So when we listen, we have to chew over what we have listened. That is done by this mind. And the mind also takes help of our memories. So memory is there stored in the chitta. So we are listening to Gita, then we are listening today, but we have heard the lectures in the past also. So some points of the past is brought back from the memory and it is compared with what we have heard now. So we try to find some more juice out of it. You must have seen on our streets, Indian streets, there are those ganne ka juice makers, sugarcane juice. So they will cut that sugarcane, clean it, and then put it into that machine. And that machine will press that squeeze that sugarcane and bring out that juice. And after taking one round, you might feel that, all the juice is taken out. But no, they again fold that sugarcane and put it again in that machine. And you find more juice is coming out. And they will keep on doing it till the last drop of juice is also brought out from that. And when it is totally dry of all the juice, then they will throw it, discard it. Similarly, when you listen to a teacher, what the sentence word which is coming out from the teacher, the sentence which is coming is like a sugar cane. A lot of juice is there. So you should be able to bring out all the juice. and then other thing you can discard. उसका जूस निकाल के बाकी छोड़ दो. There are those who just keep sugarcane in their अंतःकरण. A lot of sugar canes are there. अरे बाबा उसका जूस भी निकालो. Sugarcane you can't eat just like that. You can only drink the juice. So when we contemplate on what we hear, we can take out the juice. So our mind keep on ruminating, taking help of our chitta, and after ruminating and thinking for a long time, that's called manana. After doing all this thing, we come up with various options, ideas. Then the intellect comes and chooses one. He says, this is the sar, this is the essence, this is the teaching. So intellect decides. Nishchayatmika buddhihi comes to the final conclusion, comes to the final conviction. And when that conviction happens, the transformation happens. If that conviction doesn't happen, then we are just collecting data, collecting informations, collecting only sugar canes. Your house will get filled up with sugar canes. Your antakarana will get filled up with sugar canes. People go listen to so many pravachans here, there, this, that, and collect lot of sugar canes. बट उसका जूस भी निकालो भैया. जूस पीना है, शुगर केन को नहीं खाना है. This is my original examples, which has just come to my mind just now. Anyway, so kaschid etat shrutam partha tvaya ekagrena chetasa kaschid ajnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. That your ajnana, because after listening, what should be the outcome? That ajnana, the ignorance which is there, should get eliminated, and all the delusion created by this ignorance should get eliminated. So kaschid ajnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, did your ignorance disappear? Get eliminated? Got destroyed? Did the delusion, confusion which you have had got destroyed? So we will see what Arjuna answers. But before Arjuna answers, I want all of you to listen. You have listened to this question. So you please write at least one sentence on this on the comment section. Later on also you can write. Not that just now you have to write, but write at least one sentence, whether you have heard what I have said in past 1 year, whether you heard it with ekagrata, whether your confusion, delusion has disappeared, got destroyed. One sentence, more than one sentence, very good. So it's a feedback. So when the feedback also comes, Guru Shishya, when that connection happens, the circuit gets completed. It should get completed. So that is acknowledgement happens. The Guru Shishya connection takes place. Then it is helpful to take out the juice. Otherwise it is like entering the sugarcane farm and taking away sugarcane, stealing the sugarcane. No, you should take it from me, the sugarcane, officially, properly, and take out the juice. Okay? So, more about this we will see in our class tomorrow. So today you think about it, think about this question which is asked to Arjuna, and I have asked you, and write a sentence on the comment section. All of you should write. Whether you have heard properly whatever was taught, and whether it has benefited you. Okay? So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and we shall meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Jaya Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.